Oh, and welcome back to another WhiskAYE podcast. WhiskAYE podcast number 38 this time, as yet unnamed as usual. Um, this time round, you'll be very surprised to know that it's a Dram Team box. So, new malt order. We are recording towards the end of 2022, and this was delivered around about the middle. So, we can, we're only, you know, a third of a year behind, maybe half a year behind.
It's all that editing work. It takes time.
Yeah. Anyway, the card here says that in this box we explore some very exciting fresh releases from a variety of new and sought after high quality whiskey producers.
It's fresh in inverted commas in this case.
Oh yeah. To be fair, whiskey's never really fresh, is it? Like
yeah, fresh from the still.
Yeah. Fresh from sitting in a barrel in a warehouse for 3 years. But yeah, so from hard to find sellout debut releases to historically significant first bottlings to malts matured for more than 2 decades, this is a truly epic showcase of the best of whiskey's new malt order. Enjoy every drop, and we will.
We shall. Oh, we'll do our best.
Well, I say we will. It's rare. There are well-noted exceptions to us enjoying every drop, but for the most part, we will enjoy every drop.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these are peated up the wazoo, but we'll find out, won't we? Mm-hmm. So, should I introduce us to our first of the evening?
Yes.
So, this one is from Lochlea. I think that's how you pronounce it. Lochlea.
That's how I would pronounce it, yeah.
It is their aptly named first release. And the card reads, Lochlea debuted their first ever whiskey on Burns Night 2022 in tribute to the famous Scottish poet Robert Burns, who called Lochlea his home in his formative years. The first release sold out immediately, so we were exceptionally lucky to get our hands on it. A slow distillation and a high, narrow spirit cut deliver an exceptionally elegant and fruity spirit, which has matured excellently even at just 3 years of age. So, pretty lucky to get a hold of some of this. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Always good.
I wonder how many bottles of things he gets. Like, obviously we're not privy to the reach and size of the Dram Team, but I feel like when you're getting stuff that's quite rare first releases,
it sells out immediately. So some people have been having their eye on it, obviously.
Because like, if he's got at 25 ml, a 70, you get a 700 ml bottle gets you a decent number, but
28.
only But if I'm pretty sure if you were running this business and only selling 28 boxes, you probably wouldn't be running a profit.
No, he must be doing a couple of 100 boxes, I'd have thought.
Yeah, so getting
like 10 bottles worth, say.
Yeah, I mean on something.
Yeah, from a first cask, you get a couple of 100 bottles from a cask.
Yeah, something
150 to 300, depending on the.
Yeah, I think that's the ballpark. So to be basically taking, whole number percentages.
Yeah, I wonder if he bought it or if he just he knows when they're releasing them and he just goes around and Angel shares it.
Or says that, how would you like me to promote your
nice distillery you've got here? It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Buy them out, boys.
Buy them out, boys. Okay. Before we continue with the slander,
and the Simpsons references,
is it slander or is it libel? I think it's slander if it's spoken and libel if it's printed.
Yeah, but what is recorded really, because we're printed into a hard drive. I think it's probably still.
There's no in the comments.
Slander, but.
So the nose, bursting with fresh orchard fruit, apple, zesty orange, and pear drops. Some brown sugar, toffee, and vanilla fudge in the background.
I can get behind that.
That's very fruity, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely the apple and orange are there.
Yeah. I can kind of get the brown sugar. It's got that kind of like...
Yeah. Sweet, but not like...
But yeah, not sickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go for brown sugar.
It's kind of...
Yeah.
Sweet. It's very, if you give it a deep... Anyway, it's very sweet. It does smell very sweet.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you dive in and I'll tell you what you should be getting.
So I'm just going to clear my palate.
Okay, let me know when, and I will run through the palate and the finish.
Ready to go.
Okay. On the palate, it's rich and sweet with burnt caramel and hazelnuts. Still plenty of stewed fruit and now some toasted oats, cinnamon and clove coming. The finish is medium, mouth coating, holding on to that fresh fruit, cereal sweetness and gentle spice.
It does that sort of blossoming in the finish where you feel the tingle go from the front to the back, which I guess is the mouth coating.
Yes.
And
it's a lot more cereally than I expected.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
oats.
it's quite young, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the word.
I was thinking maybe just literally the spirit.
Could be. It's like it is like sweet porridge almost. That.
Yeah. There's a sort of maybe not honey, but
no, I could go with honey, like that kind of off sweetness.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Cereal notes, like porridge with.
And a wee bit of cinnamon. A good start to your day.
Yeah. Indeed. I don't put cinnamon on my porridge, but I know someone who does.
I used to do it when I was trying to reduce the calories by not having sugar, but it's not
dried fruit and almonds on my porridge.
It's probably better. Oh, the dried fruit, there's a lot of sugar in it, but yeah.
But almonds are good too. Decent amount of fat in them though as well, isn't it? Because they're nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like...
It's good fat.
Yeah. It's like being like, oh, these avocados are so full of fat.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't lose weight, but I can't lay off the avocados. Never had avocado. It's never really appealed.
I mean, I've had it here and there. I don't think guacamole is worth the extra money when you buy a burrito, for example. Like,
I don't like guac, must admit.
Yeah, so if you go to Tortilla, like the chain, and you order, say, like barbacoa, which is beef, I think, and you get to the end, and then they're like, oh, would you like any guac? And you're like, go on, and like it's an extra 50p or probably £1 by now because cost of living. But I'm like, or I could not. Thanks. Cheers. I'll just have the rest of it.
Yeah, I'll keep £1.
Yeah.
Use it to
it already cost me £8 for a bloody.
I'll use it to look at my boiler for 15 minutes.
Yeah. 15 minutes, you're having a laugh.
Look at my boiler, not turn it on.
Oh yeah.
Just look at it.
Yeah. Be in the same building.
Open the boiler cupboard and go, oh yeah, I have got one of them. Then they come around and slap me.
Yeah. You go, turn it on, I dare you.
Just like people from British Gas stood outside pretending to shiver, being like, "Ooh, it's cold today. Why don't you turn the heating on?"
Or even better, wash your jumper. Oh.
Just taunting you through the letterbox.
Yeah.
That is how it works now. Thanks a lot, Vladimir.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the whiskey?
I think I'm pretty happy with our analogy that it's of a porridge with honey and cinnamon. I think is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll just put medium finish.
Yeah. It does do that mouth filling finish.
Mouth coatiness, yeah. Okay.
So we've a wee bit left to drink.
Oh, sorry. I will
you can ask me what you were going to ask me, and I'll drink this bit.
I was going to ask scars, but I'll let you finish first. Otherwise, I'm not trying to rush you.
I think that is almost the epitome of a free.
Of a free. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Which is absolutely not a slander on a first release that is only 3 years old.
No. You can kind of see why people are rushing to grab some of this because it's pretty good. That's your first ever one.
Well, we can find out if they continued it.
Oh, giving it away.
Yeah. Have you went with a free as well? Sorry, I forgot.
I have, yes. Yeah, I was
lost in
for free.
contemplation of how to segue into this next one. So tricky to segue from a WhiskAYE first release. WhiskAYE, I don't know. Into a WhiskAYE Sowing Edition First Crop.
Mm.
So, as it says on the card, we are doubling down on spoiling you with hard-to-find WhiskAYE bottlings. With their second ever whiskey, released in late March 2022 and already sold out or on sale at very inflated prices, the Sowing Edition will become the first of 4 annual seasonal small batch releases, reflecting what is happening on the WhiskAYE farm throughout the year. For spring, we have a bright, fresh dram packed with fruit. So enjoy this rare chance to taste 2 such sought-after drams side by side. And yeah,
definitely.
Another sold out one. So
WhiskAYE is nice. Lowland.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's where Burns lived, then it would be Lowland. Yeah.
I don't know much about Robbie Burns.
You probably learn like some useless English stuff about Shakespeare or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about him either. I know he was a poet, and that's about it.
He is in the Scottish curriculum. Is the old the bard, not the bard, Robbie Burns.
Robbie Burns. Usually,
he's got a nickname, but I can't remember it.
Saying someone's a poet is enough to just turn off any interest I've got. That's all you have to say about someone usually. If they're like, oh, this guy's a poet, at that point, my brain is checked out.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is, is childish, but also generally poetry is terrible.
I think most written things are terrible. I think that's why.
Fair point. But I feel like you sacrifice for poetry. It's like a musical. You sacrifice a lot of what makes a film good to put the music in. Now, that's not to say you can't make a good musical.
That's true.
But it's more difficult than making a good film.
Yeah.
And it's more difficult to make a good poem than it is to make a good story because you've got more rules laid on top.
That's fair.
So that's just where I'm coming from. It's not to say that there's no good poems. I like the Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
All right with the Jabberwocky, and that's a nonsense rhyme. So
yeah, it's just
muses made up words.
Yeah. Makes it that sort of helps you with the old.
Read what you want into it, then, can you?
It also helps you with the old. There's more rules, but also I've taken away some rules.
Yeah. To make it rhyme, I've made up some words.
To be fair, I believe that there was a lot of that going on with Shakespeare too. Didn't invent half of the modern language. But.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few. Especially turns of phrase. I don't know if it's straight words, but definitely turns of phrase, I think.
Yeah, there's words as well, but maybe not as many. But yeah.
Okay, so what have we got on this one?
On the nose, sticking with the orchard fruits, they've got green apple skins and pear drops with cereal and custard creams.
That's definitely a lot more like biscuity.
That'd be the custard creams.
Custard creams is a real good shout, actually.
This is like, yeah.
That smells like alcoholic custard creams.
Yeah, there is a tartness that definitely reminds me of the green apples, but there's a whole very heavy custard cream smell in there. It's almost like, do you remember BNs?
What, BNs, the biscuits?
Yeah, remember how they came with like different jam flavors?
Vaguely.
If there was an apple one, this would possibly be.
Oh yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Because it's like it's not quite. It's like more like a cracker than a biscuit, but you know.
Yeah. They were like the.
It's like the apple jammy Dodgers.
They do those?
They did. They were like a limited edition for Halloween, so they could do them green.
You thought that'd be Patrick's Day, but fair enough.
But
they've missed a shout. If I was in charge of marketing at Jammy Dodger, I'd have got that right. Right, go on then. I'm going in for a taste.
So on the palate, should be getting vanilla sweetness, orchard fruits, and hazelnuts. with a finish that is fruity with a final sweetness and lasting viscosity.
Well, it is quite nutty, actually. It's sweet. It is quite appley, quite vanilla-y. There's like that little bit of bitteriness that you'd think from nuts, like a bit of earthiness. It does last. I mean, I'm still tasting it now. Got a long finish.
Is again,
bitterness.
it's very light in the flavors are all very like bright flavors, if that makes sense. Which I think is characteristic of a young whiskey, to be fair, but that's not necessarily a criticism.
And the Lowland are usually quite
Lowland as well, yeah. So, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's got any like big punchy flavors. I would just say yes.
No, there's no width to it, is there?
Quite sweet with a bit of earthiness.
Yeah. Like apple granola. That's what I'm going to go with.
Although it doesn't really have the oatiness, but
it is definitely lighter on the cerealness than the last one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit sweeter, a little bit lighter.
Yeah, definitely fruitier.
Yeah, but fruitier, yeah.
Which I think brings in that lightness, the fruity flavours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what kind of lifts it in your palate.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's also sort of like an acidic sweetness that makes it feel. Which is obviously sort of an oxymoron, because
I know what you mean, though.
Acidity should make things bitter, or sour.
Yeah. But I do get what you mean. It's
yeah. You close to ready to come up with a score for this?
The last week. Was that last week?
Me too. Badly timed, but dead air.
But yes, we're good at filling that.
Yeah.
Professionals. Yeah, I would give that also a 3.
Yeah, I think they're very much in the same vein. Bear agrees.
Yeah, it's different, but I wouldn't say it was better.
Yeah, I would say.
But if I had to choose one, I'd go with the first one.
I would probably agree, but I
prefer the first one.
I don't think it's because it's necessarily better. I think that's all personal preference. Not that this whole thing isn't personal preference, but
No, it's science.
Yeah.
That's the science. We're both engineers. Men of science.
Practical scientists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Chemists wish you could get as scientific as we do.
Well, they think about it, but they don't actually execute it, do they?
No, they just draw a bunch of lines and circles on a whiteboard, don't they?
To be fair, let's be honest, chemists are basically derived physicists, the same as engineers.
Physicists are like, they want to be engineers, but they don't have the courage of the convictions. Chemists are just like cooks. You can't even eat what they make.
Not always. Sometimes you can. Sometimes what they make, if you eat it, it'll give you a great time.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so long. Maybe not so long term, but
yeah. Instantly, a great time.
Yeah. Term chemists.
I mean, I'm just looking around my room and I can see 2 Casio scientific calculators. So if I'm not a scientist, I don't know what I'm doing with them.
Yeah, fair point.
If I'm not an engineer who managed to misplace one before an exam and there had to spend another £15 on another one, then what?
I don't have 2 Casio things, but I do have a pen with a ruler on it.
Well, there you go.
And a spirit level.
That's all the tools you need.
But
I wonder how you. It is a bit of a problem when you need to mark something whilst measuring.
You just have to be quick.
Yeah.
You just have to be really, really quick. You'd be surprised. You get it level. You get the measurement you want, and then you. It's like being a ninja. I like how we both went for the same kind of sound effect. That was good. That's obviously the sound effect of
It's how
drawing
you would,
quick.
it's how you would do it.
Exactly. I mean, no one's questioning my sound effect abilities. I was the sound effect guy on a film.
You're credited.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's when I'll peak. That's it. When I die, I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna have like a eulogy. I'm just gonna have that played.
The trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have that played. I'm gonna invite all the people whose likeness we stole.
Yeah.
And then they can come.
You mean all the actors in our film?
Yes. And then they can come watch it. What the hell is this?
Looking forward to when Mr. T shows up. Like, that's not even me.
I like the idea of them all running to like in old films where they used to run the court reporters used to run to the like banks of telephones.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like that, but they're all running to them to call the lawyers, like trying to get the like Magic Johnson in Futurama when Bender makes his own Harlem Globetrotters uniform.
All right, yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, hello, lawsuit." Oh dear. Right, should we move on to whiskey number 3?
I'm happy to if you're ready to.
I am always ready to drink whiskey. So this keeps making me think of like the guys who make chocolate.
Yes.
So this is Lindor's. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, not Linderay or.
I'd say Lindor's.
Let's see where that. It's an abbey apparently.
Could be Lindor's.
Could be Lindor's. So this is Lindor's. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
MCDXCIV, arranged as in Roman numerals, I assume.
What's that? What? One.
It means 1494. It says it lower down.
All right, cool. I've just tried to do the.
Yeah, I'm not educated enough to do that. So it's just outside of Perth a little ways, just to the east of Perth.
Okay.
Anyway, Lindor's is a place of great significance in the history of Scotch. MCDXCIV, the means 1494, the year of the first officially recorded distillation of whiskey in Scotland. 500 years after Brother John Corr, a Lindor's Abbey monk, was commissioned by King James IV to turn 8 balls of malt into aqua vita, this newly re-established distillery released this first modern bottling, a distinctive mix of single malt matured in bourbon barrels, wine barriques, and sherry butts. Fantastic.
Do you think this is that distillery that we saw mixes at the Stramash that had the whiskey, the malt liqueur?
Yes.
That was called aqua vitae?
I think so.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah. It's what I thought of. Yeah.
Cool.
Stramash. Need to do that again.
Yeah, it should be back on this year.
Yeah, but we won't be able to get to it this year, will we?
No, but what I meant was it should be a thing again.
Yeah, next year maybe. Right. Just pass them out. Pass them out for the brothers.
I just googled it and it is the same distillery, so that's good. Look at that. Look how much knowledge we have. We even know about whiskey distilleries and the products they made that weren't even whiskey.
Exactly. Iris.
Yeah.
So on the nose, elegant, soft, mellow vanilla, caramel notes playing with orchard fruits and sweet pear drops, reminiscent of toffee apples.
I may have been googling instead of pouring, so I'll be 2 seconds.
I have to apologise for sniffles and if I cough or anything. By the way, I had a man flu or whatever a week ago, and
probably COVID, but you can't tell these days because you can't get a test.
Well, and I've still seemed to have a couple of the annoyingly long-lasting symptoms.
As long as you can smell things.
I can smell and taste, and I'm fine. It's just I cough every now and again for some reason.
Long COVID.
Probably dying.
It smells quite good though. This.
It does. I kind of get what it means by soft, like mellow.
Yeah, it's got much more caramel flavour to it, though.
It does.
Like a toffee apple. Given that we're in October, I feel like I'm. That's what I meant by towards the end of the year, by the way, at the start. But this is from me. That's why I said maybe half a year. But given that we're in October, toffee apple is a sort of thematic flavour this month, and
this is
definitely
like a complete toffee apple, though, not like a bitten into one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fully. The apple smell's not through yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like.
It's there, but it's not in any way the dominant.
And yeah, toffee apples don't have toffee on them, do they? It's caramel.
Yeah, but
Americans call them caramel apples, don't they?
Candied apples.
Candied apple.
But they also call like toffee taffy. So like.
Is toffee taffy?
Taffy's like any like a wham bar would be a taffy.
Mm.
But like saltwater taffy is toffee, usually.
Just worse.
Salted caramel.
Decent.
Probably.
Anyway, I'll let you dive in.
Okay.
On the palate, it's smooth with a creamy texture and a perfect balance of mellow vanilla, dried fruits, citrus touches with a hint of spice. And the finish is medium length, delicate but lingering.
It's very nice. It's creamy is definitely a good way to describe the mouthfeel on this one.
It's quite dry.
Yeah, but not like
very creamy, very
not tanniny dry. So like
no,
like dry like a dry cider more than like a dry wine.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like carnation milk or whatever kind of sweetness.
Yeah.
Kind of like a cream.
That's what it just feels like a sweetened cream.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Apparently there's dried fruits to be had, so I'm gonna go back in and see if I can pick any of that out.
Dive back in and see if you can find them. Carnation milk sweetness. Carnation is quite difficult to enough whiskies. Not a word you often use.
Mm-mm. I don't get any dried fruits. I get like a Cornish vanilla ice cream maybe after it's slightly melted.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's like a little bit of spice, but like cloves probably like.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the dryness.
Yeah. It does linger for a while though.
It does.
Nice.
It is nice. Get it like at the back at the top. Lingers there. And not like lingers like heat, just like the flavour.
Yeah. And like the flavour, this is going to sound weird, but under the tongue.
Yeah.
Like not on the tongue, but like
area underneath.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Taste buds of that down there, surely.
I'd hope so. Otherwise, I'm tasting from. I've got a nerve issue.
Maybe we've just grown taste buds because we've got that good at tasting whiskey. Yeah. We've like developed more taste buds.
Well, like your soft palate influences flavour a lot, so.
Yeah.
Because it leads straight into your nose, and everyone knows that scent is like at least half of taste, probably more.
It's a big part of it, yeah.
That's why the thing I dread most about COVID is losing my sense of smell, because I'm like.
Yeah, there's not a lot of joy in life without being able to taste things, is
there? No.
I'd be pretty miffed if there were certain things I couldn't taste.
Chocolate, whiskey.
Yeah.
Meat.
Beer.
Beer. If there was no beer, no whiskey.
I think I've got one of yours in this.
One of mine?
Williams Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
March of the Penguins. Smooth, creamy stout.
I find that their dark beers aren't as good as their light beers, but it's not bad stout. It's quite smoky, I would say. Like like a charcoaly stout.
Yeah, I've got a mixed box of dark beers. My old man been drinking them. There've been some good ones.
Yeah.
So we got from Best of British Beer. Shout out to Best of British Beer. Just did their dark beer selection.
Of course, Williams would be in it then.
Yeah.
Best of beer. That's what they don't need the British.
There's been some tasty ones, I've got to say. A couple of good porters. Got a lot of stouts left now, though.
I do prefer a porter to a stout, personally. Unless I quite like a milk stout.
Stouts tend to be a little bit too harsh for me on the bitterness.
That's why I like a milk stout, because it's basically sweet.
Or a properly delivered porter is like bitter but like smooth.
Yeah.
It's when you get that kind of like burnt feeling. When the bitterness is just quite harsh, that's when I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
Stouts tend to be in that area, but we'll see. Right, do you want to give this one a score?
I'm definitely going to give this a higher score. Whether it's I think a pitch on this. I think a 4 is definitely fair. What do you think?
I will go 3.5.
See, I'm like 3.75, but I'm giving it 4, and then if any of the rest of this box beats it, it'll buy it away. Like if I get something that I think is a cast iron 4, this will probably drop to 3.5.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I did really like it, but I don't think I liked it quite. I would give, like you say, 3.75.
Yeah. Well, if you go down and I go up, then we average at 3.75. So.
And I do give an average score on the cards during the episodes.
It's just there we go. Fair's fair.
Okay.
Want me to move on? We're not doubling up on Lindores or Lindors or.
We're going to your favourite whiskey producing country.
Yeah. Sure. The Lakes. Don't even pronounce locks correctly. So.
Yeah, they are alone in their pronunciation of.
Yeah, lock.
Their version of.
Very strange. But yeah, the Lakes Distillery. This is the Whiskey Makers Reserve number 5. So. Here we go.
Just as a heads up, we have had number 4.
Have we? So we'll see how this compares.
Yeah. So let me just find. I'm sure I saw it when I was typing it in. So we've had number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what score we gave that one, or do you want me to save it till the end?
I think if you can save it, and we'll see how it compares once we've been. I don't want any influence prior to.
In fact, I think we've had number 4, or I've had number 4 twice. One was in the English Whiskey Festival, and my score was consistent, which is always nice.
I remember you talking about that. So when we did it, so that's good. Or when you did it.
Always good when your score's consistent.
Yeah.
So yes, we shall see. Have they improved? Okay. Have they got worse?
So the card says that at around 80 to 90% of the cask used to mature this brand new release in the Whiskey Makers Reserve single malt series, the first fill Spanish, American, and virgin oak casks seasoned with Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry. So those would be, I assume, they're all first fill, but they've taken Spanish cask, American cask, and virgin cask and seasoned them all with Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah.
So then they mix in the remaining 10 to 20% from red wine casks, always a good idea, and then you get another epic example of the Lake's house style: big, robust yet balanced sherry bombs.
I mean, like, look at the colour of it.
Yeah, you could tell that. I could almost say you could probably tell that that's also been in a red wine cask because it's almost more red than golden.
Just to note, this is our only cask strength one of the day.
Oh, I didn't even notice. The way I've got the box, the percentages are angled away from me. So
we've done a 46, a 48, a 46. This is 52.
it's low for a cask strength, but still.
It is, but it's still worth paying a bit.
When you're mixing this much, you're probably going to end up like that, aren't you?
Just worth paying it a little bit of caution.
Yeah. So on the nose, perfumed and fruity with polished oak, red apples, chocolate, and hints of Devonshire cream. Now,
that's lovely on the nose. That is really nice.
I reckon it's probably perfumed because it's cask strength.
But it's not blowing my sinuses out the back of my head.
Yeah, but I think the esters of vapor tend to carry a perfumed,
Well, that's what they're using it for perfume.
Yeah.
That's the point of the alcohol, because then when you rub it in that, it gives off.
Lasts longer, yeah. Yeah, it's very...
really nice, though, isn't it?
Quite floral in its fruitiness, but that would be the perfumed.
Yeah, it is definitely... Perfumed is a good word for this.
I could maybe get red apples. Don't know how to get cream. But it's quite...
it's not heavy enough for cream, I don't think.
But it's kind of muted down. So that might be what's giving it.
Maybe. Well, then, what should I be getting?
Well, when you take a sip, you should be getting pecan and walnut baklava, baking spices, candied papaya, and hints of coffee. That's very specific with the baklava. And then the finish should be vibrant and creamy with toasted brown sugar.
We have another sip. There's a lot of toasted brown sugar. I can kind of get the baking spices. I have no idea what candied papaya tastes like. There may be a little bit of a hint of coffee, but it is a hint. That's just really nice kind of sherry flavours.
I do get this baklava vibe off of it. I do understand what they mean.
Yeah.
Nutty and sweet. And
yeah, it is kind of nutty and sweet, I'll give you that.
I was at a coffee shop on Friday and they had a baklava, but in the end I went for the tiffin because I'm mad for a tiffin. Yeah.
When I see pecans, I always just like go straight to pecan pie because I love pecan pie. It's so good. I have to make some more of that at some point. This is lovely though.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. There is something kind of sweet. It could be candied fruit, and but it's more in the finish.
But
that might
definitely build.
That's probably the toasted brown sugar that they're talking about more than anything.
It's like almost like a sweetened chocolate almost.
Yeah, or it has a little bit of like a fruit and nut kind of vibe.
Yeah, but not like it's not a dark chocolate, but it's not a milk chocolate neither.
No,
it's not light enough to be a milk chocolate. It's not bitter enough to be. It's like just a really quality.
Well,
chocolate.
I think it's like a high quality milk chocolate. So
yeah,
like a not like I'm not dishing Cadbury's, but like not Cadbury's or Milka, where it's like very milky and not very cocoa-y, but like
not like a proper Swiss kind of chocolate.
Yeah, like real good chocolate, but not like dark chocolate. Because let's be honest, dark chocolate's for cooking. Or putting coffee liqueurs inside.
My old man would agree with you. He hates dark chocolate.
It's fine if you like dark chocolate's good for liqueurs because sweet chocolate wouldn't work.
I do like dark chocolate on its own. I can quite happily.
And dark chocolate's good for like orange creams and coffee creams because.
I can quite happily have a bar of dark chocolate on its own. Not too dark, not like 80%.
Yeah.
But like 60 to 70%.
Like Bourneville. And the Cadbury's there.
Yeah. You know, I'm not going like, 92% cocoa, so it's hell yes. Yeah. Can't feel my face.
Yeah. That is definitely for cooking. But yeah.
But like a 60 to 70% dark chocolate, quite happy. If it's proper.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to that thing with the beer. If it's smooth.
Yeah.
And I know everyone hates the word smooth when it comes to tastings because it don't mean anything, but it does.
Yeah, it means it's not harsh.
Exactly.
Smooth means not rough. It's just a general compliment.
It's if it can handle itself, basically.
Yeah.
No, this is a 52% whiskey, but I call it smooth.
Yeah.
This is not taking my head off.
I'm taking my time with it though.
Oh yeah, I'm paying it a little bit more caution than the others, but it's still not like sweet Jesus. This is
He says, let it go down the wrong way.
Roll. Easy done.
Okay.
Easy done.
I was just swishing it and it caught the top of my throat and it was like, no. I knew it was going to happen. Managed to swallow it before I spluttered, but
nice. You'll notice, hopefully, in the next few episodes, by the way, I'll be mentioning my old man more because he's been listening to them. The old episodes started at the first one. He's like, you mentioned Mum a lot, you don't mention me. It's like, oh God.
All right, so you'll be catching up, and then one day.
I'm pretty sure I do mention him quite a bit.
Yeah, you do. You talk about. Yeah. A lot of the problem is because we're talking about flavors and you cook with your mum. So,
and also there's that running joke that I make that we've got 30 subscribers, which is me, you, and my mum 28 times.
Yeah, which to be fair, at the start your dad wasn't listening, was he? So
well, exactly. There you go. You should have done better, shouldn't he?
That's dad's for you, though. Too busy out there, earning the money, put the bread on the table or whatever.
Guy's been retired for like 10 years or whatever. Lazy son. I'm earning the money for him.
Yeah. You're paying
taxes.
Yeah.
Now that I've aired out the dirty laundry with my family, did you want to give it a score?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I've got one score in mind.
One score?
I think that's a 4.
Yeah. And that's why I was going to say I need to probably be true to my word and drop your.
I think you stick.
I don't know. I think it's better.
Give it 4.5 then.
I don't think it's 4.5 though.
I don't know. I think you stick. I think it's you judged it as a 4 at the time. The fact that there's a better 4 out there. Yeah. Because don't forget, our 4s is from like 3.75 to 4.25.
And this is definitely closer to a 4.25 in that, but
yeah,
I'll go with a 4. We'll just leave the previous one, walk on by, review it when we finally ever get a chance to go back to it.
So previous versions that we've had, we've had the let me find it. The number 3, the latest distillery Whiskey Makers Reserve number 3, which we both gave it a 4.
Okay.
Then the Whiskey Makers Reserve number 4, you gave it a 4, I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
And then I had the Whiskey Makers Reserve number 4 again.
I gave it a 3.5 again.
Gave it a 3.5 again. And then we've had the Whiskey Makers Reserve number 5. Given 4s. So for you,
it's just 4.
4s all the way through. So you should go for this Whiskey Makers Reserve and get yourself a bottle because it's pretty consistent that you like this one.
Yeah, I would, but I'm on a strict promise to not buy whiskey till I drink some whiskey.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not buying any bottles until I've got some gaps on my shelf.
We have a full globe bar. That's not full of whiskey, that's full of gin. I have a full trolley of whiskey, which if you have time when you come up, which is, we'll see. We can discuss that later. You might be able to see, but yeah. I think our actual road trip is...
Might have time at the end, rather than at the beginning.
Yeah. And then we've got also a basket of beers from Beer 52 that we're behind on, and some other alcohol. So we're told not to buy. We've decided not to buy booze until we drink some booze.
Yeah, you're right. My whiskey cabinet in the whiskey room is just full. So until I can finish off a couple of bottles, there's some that are close. But like one of them is the Auchentoshan Freewood that I bought ages ago.
Yeah.
And that stuff's lovely. But I mean, you're talking like 4 or 5 years that it's been there.
Yeah.
So needs finishing.
Eventually, yeah, you just have to bite the bullet and be like, right, I know I'm not going to get this again. Well, Freewood, is that still on sale?
Yeah, they still make it. Different
So, yeah.
branding, but they still make it.
Yeah. So it's not like it's some whiskies you're like, I know I'm not going to get this again, but also it's open and I'm possibly allowing it to spoil. So
Yeah, it's there for a reason.
Yep.
Ultimately. Okay.
Onwards.
Onwards and upwards, or maybe not, because that was really nice.
Yeah.
So we are revisiting one that we've had. Let me check. 3 months ago. So
Wow.
if this is so depending on upload schedules, but in terms of Dram Team boxes, this is what we're having now is the May box. This was this brand was in the February box. It is J.G. Thompson. So in February we had the J.G. Thompson Sweet and the J.G. Thompson Smoky, and in this one we are finishing off or rounding off the offering the J.G. Thompson Rich batch number 1, which I believe, yes, so we've had J.G. Thompson Sweet, J.G. Thompson Smoky, and now we will have had J.G. Thompson Rich, all batch number 1. It's pretty cool.
Good.
Pretty cool to round that off. So the card reads, I will not read the first bit because it will give away the next one. So another dram from a new producer awaits. This time from newly established blender bottler Edinburgh's J.G. Thompson. The darkest of their car range, their rich blended malt is a real sherry bomb, chock full of hefty flavour thanks to use of both Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, as well as traditional, in brackets, huge sherry butts, smaller hogsheads, in brackets, medium, and quart casks, in brackets, small, were used for extra wood interaction and flavour extraction. A truly rich whiskey results. That was really a truly rich whiskey results is quite hard to say
Mm-hmm.
at this point. Probably quite hard to say to begin with, but certainly at this point, a truly rich whiskey. Is what I wanted to say.
I'm just trying to find out where this distillery is because they say Edinburgh, but
Well, I think it's a blender, isn't it?
must be
Rather than a.
because this is a blended
I mean,
Scotch.
maybe they might.
They might have a distillery, but be currently not.
Yeah, or they might
Oh no,
age
they're
the whiskies themselves. J.G. Thompson is in Edinburgh. It's in Leaf.
It's in Giles Street where my friend actually lives.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this sign. I think they also might own the Whiskey Vault, Edinburgh, which is a club you can join.
If you go on Google Maps, there's no sign or anything on it. It's just a place.
It's next to Banana Road Recording Studio. It's like a warehouse.
Yeah, pretty much. It's across from like a mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just looks like a place.
Oh, maybe it's not Banana Road actually. Maybe it's the other one down there. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Could be worth a wander past next time you're there.
Well,
grab some stuff.
I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating when I say my friend literally lives right next to it. Yeah, the Malt Whiskey Society is like over the road, so.
It's just down the road, yeah. Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. There you go. You just break into a visit there. You're in.
Oh, it's at this end. I get it. Yeah. Okay.
It's like next door, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Sorry for the wee detour for us to look at Google Maps and Google Street View, but
you could carry it. You could do it along. It's audience interaction.
So.
On the nose. Discover dark raisins, black cherries, juicy sultanas, deep orange peel, and toasted cocoa nibs.
Nibs?
I thought it was cacao nibs, but okay. You ever had them? Cacao nibs. They're really nice.
This is quite boozy on the nose.
This is quite boozy on the nose.
It's very deep flavours, so deep smells, which makes sense to me with the orange peel, toasted cocoa, dark raisins, black
Dark,
cherries.
isn't it? It's very dark.
Yeah, like a heavy sherry though, like
Yeah,
a
what's the
heavy
legs on
Christmas
this,
cake.
Not too much actually.
Yeah, it's got some legs, but they're
Not as heavy, not as oily as I expected. It's quite woody.
yeah. It's like a proper Christmas cakey deepness though.
Yeah. Okay, deep.
Or like a fruit bun, not a fruit bun, a fruit loaf.
Like a serene.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the? Good job I didn't ask that.
What?
Say, what's the equivalent of a flavour for a smell? And it's like I've just answered my question by saying it.
Yeah.
It is a smell.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. So on the palate, uncover blackberries, figs, soaked currants, dried dates, dark chocolate orange, and hints of nutmeg and cinnamon spice. It's like Jumanji or whatever. Heading into the jungle, uncover blackberries, or that herbal essences shampoo.
Yeah, she's got the urge.
Yeah. I don't think they're still allowed to do those adverts.
I don't think so. Not allowed to do anything these days. Political correctness got mad.
Damn wokies.
Yeah.
Taking the piss.
I didn't vote for Brexit, but what I've heard is that people voted for Brexit to stop this kind of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Why aren't we, whatever it was, getting the sovereignty back?
Yeah.
I mean, you are, but why aren't we?
Well, eventually, soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see that? What would it be? A reverend on the news. It's a 56-year Tory party member who says, "I've never been ashamed to be a Tory party member, and I thought we couldn't get any worse after we got Boris, but now we've got her." He says, "What kind of idiot goes into a cost of living crisis and cuts benefits and taxes to the rich?"
The kind that's completely controlled by the rest of the party. I'm still convinced that they know they can't win the next general election, so they're just trying to line the pockets before they go.
Yeah.
That's it. No way though anyone looked at those policies and was like, they're vote winners.
I saw someone say that the tactic has worked. The left vote for Brexit has done its job. With that many people voted for Brexit to just destroy the Tory party. I was like, I feel like that's not what happened. I feel like some people voted for Brexit, realised it was a mistake. I'm like, no, but I did it for this reason.
Yeah. People voted for it because they got misled.
Or because they wanted to, it'll never happen. I heard quite a lot.
Yeah, and people hate politicians, so one less layer of politicians was a big selling point as well.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people who are like, "Oh yeah, but it'll never happen, and this will give them the shock they need to not, muck about." And I was or too many, or you just voted against your better interest to. It's like when everyone voted for the Lib Dems to threaten Labour and the Tories got in for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you handed over the power and it's never come back.
Yeah.
How clever was your tactical vote there?
Yeah, they quite gratefully took that.
Yeah.
So on the whiskey, it's not as much of a sherry bomb as the last one, I wouldn't say. It's lots of kind of like dark red fruits.
It's nice, but it is
nice.
On the old dark chocolate vibe. It is in that.
There's a dark chocolate bitterness, isn't there?
Bitterness, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of bitterness though that you do get in dried fruits. That they're very sweet, but.
Yeah, especially if you kind of chew them too long.
Yeah, but the bitter flavour of the fruit is also in there and is also concentrated. It's just that there's a lot of sugar, so it takes a minute for it to come through. Yeah. But yeah, if you eat a whole box of like Sunmaids, there's a bitter flavour in your mouth afterwards. I
think that's the regret because they're about to come through you.
Yeah. But also was probably worth it for the 5 seconds of fun you had eating a whole box of Sunmaids. I'm talking remember the old little lunchbox boxes?
Yeah. No, which ones mean. Man, I could do like chocolate raisins. By do, I mean eat.
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
I could just go forever.
Weirdly, I don't know if I've ever told you about this, but like I hate chocolate peanuts, and I don't think peanuts belong anywhere near chocolate.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But hazelnut, fine with it.
Yeah.
Almond, fine with it.
Yeah.
Walnuts, fine with it. It's just peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah, but peanuts are...
They're kind of oily and weird.
Yeah.
I like peanuts, don't get me wrong.
I like
but
peanuts, and I like
they
chocolate.
don't belong in chocolate.
See, I'm not a big fan of like nuts in chocolate if that's the main event.
Like a whole nut's not as good as a fruit nut.
Yeah, like a Toblerone has got nuts in it, and it's fine. Well, it's needs them. Like without them, it wouldn't be the same. But it's not the main event.
Yeah.
But like, if you just get like, I'm not interested in like chocolate coated Brazil nuts. It's too much nut, too little chocolate.
I can do a chocolate coated hazelnut, but hazelnuts are a different gravy. That's the problem. They're the best.
Yeah, hazelnuts go pretty well with chocolate, to be fair.
Like, have you ever? I don't know if you've ever seen the fruit and nut, but it's like the special one where instead of having like whole nuts in it, they're like smashed. It's called like fruit and nut smashed or something, bashed.
Maybe.
But instead of having, why is my brain doing this to me? We've literally been talking about them the whole time.
Hazelnuts.
Yeah. Why instead of having hazelnuts, it's almonds, and it's just not the same. It's like, why would you change it? Just smash up some hazelnuts.
Yeah, it's not.
Nuts are quite brittle. If you hit them with a rolling pin, they smash.
Yeah.
It's obviously
smashed hazelnuts quite easy.
Also, like, you get much more nut per shelling for a hazelnut than you do for an almond.
Yeah. I would prefer almonds to hazelnuts, though.
Not in chocolate.
No, definitely chocolate. It's like the best bit of Toblerone is the almondy bits.
Yeah, but a hazelnut's just. Also, I quite like, as a nut, I like a hazelnut as it's up there, top tier, up there with walnuts.
So
less likely to kill you. Walnuts are quite bitter, but they also count, as I say.
Nuts in general on their own, to be honest.
I'm fine with a bag of nuts.
And this is from someone who puts like almonds on his porridge every morning.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't eat the almonds on their own.
I don't mind eating nuts on their own.
No.
I mean, not a squirrel or anything, but.
As worse animals.
Yeah, I just mean like.
Do you want to give this one a score, by the way?
I've not even finished it, but yeah, I can score it. Right. 2 seconds.
The Whiskey and Nut podcast. Politics. Family drama. What don't we discuss? Whiskey.
Yeah, we do a little bit of whiskey, and then put the world to rights. That's.
Yeah, pretty much.
I put this at 4 as well, I think.
That was quick. You want to give that one a 4?
Yeah.
I would go 3.5. I don't think that's as good. I like it.
Well, my problem is that this is definitely, in my opinion, better than the Lindores.
Yeah, you've kind of backed yourself into a corner a bit, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how the last one.
Well, I mean, it's a good job we didn't give it away that this 6th dram is also from J.G. Thompson.
So much goddamn sarcasm. Tried my best.
Interestingly, right, I mean, you tried your best. You said we've had them all because we've had a.
Yeah, but
rich and
unless people look it up frantically, they never know.
Yeah, but we got another J.G. Thompson. In fact, we got another J.G. Thompson Rich, but this one isn't a batch number 1, and it's not a batch number 2. This is an aged 23 years J.G. Thompson Rich. This is the old Rich. Now,
yeah, this is Mr. Money, Mr. Monopoly.
This is real money. The other one, that was like, .com millionaire.
The other one was like Elon Musk. This is like Elon Musk's dad.
Yeah. that one was like Donald Trump. This was Donald Trump's dad. But yeah.
The last one was completely incompetent.
Yeah. But it's true. It's more like the last one was the last one was like Elon Musk, and this one's like the king, I suppose.
Yes. Good old Charles.
Yeah. But
God bless him. Long may he live.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fairly sure he's going to be handing that one over very soon.
How dare you?
Imagine going like 70. What? How many 70?
73, 74, I don't know.
Yeah, 73 years of your life without a job, and then all of a sudden,
Sir, how dare you?
all of a sudden, you're 8 years past retirement, and they're like, "Here, do you want a job?"
73, I nailed it.
I've like been that.
I am a good serf.
I feel like I'm going to go do this job for a year, and then spend some more money on another coronation for my boy. But
look, right, just because he sat on a golden throne in the middle of a cost of living crisis and said that he sympathises with us,
yeah,
doesn't mean he's out of touch.
yeah. Also, can we please just say empathy, not sympathy? Just there are two different words and they have different meanings.
He's got sympathy for us. He sure as hell doesn't have empathy. How could he?
It's the opposite.
No, empathy is like if you've got a shared lived experience.
No, empathy is if you can understand, put yourself. Sympathy is similar.
I always thought it was empathy was like I
No, 'cause
empathise 'cause I've
empaths-
got a shared lived experience,
No,
and then
'cause
sympathy was like
Empaths can understand how someone else feels.
empaths are all psychopaths.
No.
Just pretend that they're, oh yeah, I can feel your pain through the screen.
So empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Sympathy
is a shared experience. Like if someone says,
it's common feeling.
Yeah, my dad died and your dad's died, so you're like, oh, okay, I can sympathise.
Yeah.
I just realised I've mentioned my dad more things. That was the first example I jumped to. No,
when my dad, I mean,
moving on. What whiskey have we got?
Yeah. So as we said, the old money, J.G. Thompson Rich, aged 23 years.
Yes.
This sixth dram represents a true embarrassment of riches, graduating from the core Rich release. This 23-year-old version is a very limited release that features 100% Speyside whiskies, a real showcase of just how incredible this region's malts can be after 2 to 3 decades in quality casks and an absolute standout drop. So, I mean, wouldn't be like the capital to go and steal all the stuff from the north.
Now that I can sympathise with.
I can't talk really.
Bloody London.
We'd probably call Edinburgh my hometown. It's not my where I'm from, but it's where I would.
Informative place.
Yeah.
I like Edinburgh.
It's good.
It's a nice place. Man, I quite like London when I visit as well.
Yeah, when you visit.
When I visit.
It wasn't that great to live there. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was really bad for my. Yeah. As long as you don't have to pay to stay there. That's it.
Yes. No interest in living there ever.
It's very expensive. Prohibitively so, you would say.
There's some attractions.
It's kind of like just going to like a fun fair or that. You're like, everything's going to cost a bit more, but I'm only there for the day.
So what we got on the nose, supposedly?
There should be complex aromas of peach stones, fresh mango, dried strawberries, cranberries, and tropical fruits. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm pretty sure peach stones smell like peach.
Yeah, like a flat, I'm guessing you mean, like not just like flesh would be sweet.
Usually whenever I have a peach stone, it's still got quite a lot of bits of peach hanging off of it because...
You've got to be more efficient with your...
nibbling.
Yeah. You got to go until you hear the crack. It's not a stone, it's your teeth, but
yeah,
you know you've got it.
This has a smell like... I get what they mean where they've got like peach, mango, strawberry. It smells like, the fruit salad, the Bassett's fruit salads. No, like the sweet.
Oh, I don't. I'm not good with sweets.
Oh. Well, Bassett's fruit salads they're like pink and yellow.
Right.
And they smell like, I think this flavour is like strawberry and mango. And this smells like them.
Okay, I'll write that down.
They're a chew. Right, you used to get them for 1p. You get them, blackjacks or bruisers.
What should I be tasting?
Flavours of spiced red apples, dark toffee, cake mix, black cherries, red currants, and a finish of rosewater. Oh, We palate cleanser at the end.
That's different. I kind of get the finish of rosewater. You have to wait a little bit. It does take a little bit of time to come through. It is a little bit spicy.
Mm-hmm.
It is very fruity. Very kind of juicy fruits, kind of rich.
Juicy fruit isn't a far away flavour from a fruit salad. Like the sweet, not the...
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But they're not
But
quite the
it's
same.
got quite a bit in
More
this.
mango, more pineapple. Yeah, I'd say it's got... That's like your black cherries and your...
There is a decent amount of it in this.
Dark toffee. I suppose dark toffee is like the treacly toffee, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot more like molasses kind of thing. I'm guessing that's what you mean.
Like, you know when it's the one that if you ever get those really cheap toffees at Christmas, they're all you get like the one that's wrapped in gold. It's just a normal toffee. One that's wrapped in green is a mint toffee. And then the one that's wrapped in red is I think that's like a dark toffee.
Yeah, maybe. I think I know what you mean, but.
Speaking of, do you see they're going to change Quality Street from plastic wrappers to paper wrappers?
I didn't.
Woke. It was great. They did it on Newsround on the radio, right? And on Newsbeat or whatever it's called. And all the young people were like, I think that's a great plan. That's less plastic in the environment. And all the old people were like, yeah, but it looks better. Yeah, but
amazing what people get upset about, isn't it?
Guess what? The planet's going to look worse. And I like living here.
Who cares? Does it change the flavour of the thing? No, happy days.
Yeah. Put them in white, undyed wrappers with the name printed on it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. It's I think the thing that always amazes me with people is like how much energy they've got to get upset about stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have
irrelevant shit as well.
Yeah, I don't have the energy to care about whether blooming Ariel from Little Mermaid is white or black. Whatever.
Yeah, in a Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale.
Yeah, I don't care.
Like next thing you'll be making you'll be making a documentary about, you know,
like Martin Luther King will have a white guy playing. It's like
that's different. Sure he's a real person. Yeah, he's a real person. This is a mythical creature. Yeah. For all we know, they're half fish. They're probably green with translucent skin.
It's like, who cares? It's a sodding mermaid. Yeah. Who cares? It's Quality Street. So long as it's not like changing the flavours and
if they're like box. Yeah, but people like them.
Do you want to score this one?
Yeah, I'm happy to let you go first because I've still got a little bit to go.
I would go with a 4 on that one. Quite happily go with a 4.
I think a 4 is probably fair given what I've scored everything else. Yeah. Feel quite bad for the first one.
Hate.
Eh?
Apart from Lockley, which you hate.
Apparently, yeah, I feel quite bad for them. They were young. They just...
Yeah. Young, foolish, they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I enjoyed most. I would say that after the start where they asked us to enjoy every drop, I thoroughly did.
It was another good box.
Yep.
Another good box.
Unsurprisingly.
Okay. So, that is the end of that box.
Yeah.
Very, as always, a very good box from our friends at the Dram team, which we greatly enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to us ramble on. A little bit of whiskey talking there amongst everything else we banged on.
Yeah, we maybe one day we'll go back to having segments, but I feel like quite often we spend about as much time just rambling if we don't have them in. So, you know, some people might like that.
It certainly doesn't shorten the episode.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Thank you very much.
Hopefully it'll be less of a period between us making the drinks. I don't know how long, or drinking the drinks. Don't know. If we made them, we'd make more money. Don't know how long it'll be between uploads. We'll work it out down the line.
We'll try.
See you in 2026.
Yeah, if the world's still going, hope you enjoyed. And we will see you next time.
Cheerio.
Bye.